Hello, welcome back to Here We Tow. Jules and I are heading off today. This is the second video in our European trip. We're leaving Germany and we're making our way into Denmark. We're going to make a stop off about 2 hours from where we are here at St. Peter Ording, and we're stopping off at Heljsminde. I'm probably pronouncing a lot of these places completely wrong, so I apologise. But we are heading to Heljsminde Strand Camping. Now this campsite is in southern Denmark and it's on the east coast. It's a part of the coast. We're going to be looking out onto something called Little Belt, which is an expanse of water that we should be able to see from the campsite. This is to break up our trip to Sweden. So we're going to have 2 nights at this campsite. It's very family friendly, quite a good sized site. Apparently they've got a swimming pool. Jules won't be putting on his Speedos, don't worry. And there's also, in the little town itself, a couple of places to eat and obviously walk by the water. We'll find out more when we get there, obviously, and we'll explore it together. So for now, Jules and I are going to power up the motorhome, head to the supermarket, get some fuel and food, and then we will see you next on the road to Denmark. We've made it to Denmark. We had a really good drive actually, despite the rain. We actually didn't film yesterday when we arrived. We're now day 2 because it was just hammering it down. But we had a really nice drive, not overly big, busy roads, sort of dual carriageways and what we consider A roads as well. Took us about 2 hours. Had a stop at the Aldi as we said we would, and then as we arrived into Denmark, we've come here to Heljsminde Strand Camping. Pulled in there, had a really good welcome, and bless him, he spoke really good English, because I must admit my Danish is a lot worse than my German, and that's pretty bad. So yeah, so got checked in. Now, what I like to do, and I always say, you tour how you want to tour, but what I always like to do, because Jules and I have timescales, I always like to book campsites in advance and try and book a good pitch. And I think I've just about nailed it here. So literally, once we arrived at Heljsminde Strand Camping, we drove down there, sort of side road, and we've come down to the bottom. Now, up here, there's loads and loads. We'll see we're going to walk up there in a minute, but there's rows and rows of seasonal caravans. I noticed last time we were in Denmark that on the sites, they seem to be big on seasonal pitches. So we're down this end. Now, I chose this pitch. This is 149. I'm going to put all the links down here as always, but if you want to stop here on the way, this is pitch 149, and I picked it because of this. Look at that view. I don't mean the football pitch and the goalposts, I mean the water. We're going to go and explore there as well once we've been back up to look at the site facilities. But wow, this morning when the sun was out, it's clouding over now, I opened obviously the door, I've reversed in with the Sportivo, opened the door and we sat and had a cup of tea and our breakfast looking at the water, and it's just absolutely stunning. But these pitches are for motorhomes. I think they've newly or recently gravelled them. I'm not so sure it's gravel, I'd describe it more as sand. Thankfully, 149 I've reversed on because I've gone down here and here because it gets quite deep, does this sand, and I think if we'd have gone nosing, we're front wheel drive, we may have had a bit of a job getting out. It looks like somebody else had a bit of a job here. Look at this. So you can see it's quite sandy. But yeah, I've nailed it with this pitch. Absolutely brilliant and a fantastic view. Anyway, right, what we're going to do is we're going to walk back up the track, the one we drove down that you saw as we arrived. Have a look up at the facility blocks. There is a swimming pool. I'll see if we can see that. And then Jules and I go trot back down and we're going to go explore. Over in that far corner of the campsite, there is a path that runs along there. We'll head out there and turn left, and that'll take us to the beach and the sea. So we'll go have a look at that. There's a couple of restaurants here. It's not a big resort, it's just fairly small, but it's a good place to stop on the way to Sweden, really. So we'll go and explore. Right, let's get our stuff and head back up the trail. Walked back up the track and security barrier here that we came through, and this is where we're going to find the services here. So in this service block, this is a little bit strange. I tried to find the ladies' toilets and there actually isn't one. The men's and the ladies are actually all in one. So you head in there and there are toilet cubicles, there are shower cubicles and there are sinks, and it is a shared facility for men and women. Now the showers are really good, they're handheld ones, lots of room for your clothes. There's also disabled facilities in there and family showers as well, but you're all in it together. When you come out of there is actually a separate children's room. I haven't been into that bit. But then carrying on, there's the chemical disposal point for your toilet waste from your caravan or motorhome. And then there's a really interesting room, and in there you've got ovens, hobs, you've then got sinks for washing up and a seating area. So when people say, oh, Europeans don't have ovens in their motorhomes and caravans, well no, because when you come on a site you've got a full-blown kitchen going on in there. So that's what was there. And there's also a separate barbecue area as well, which is there. So that's the service block, absolutely massive. There is a laundrette on site, but it's just up here with the reception area. What we'll do is, without getting run over, we'll just have a wander up here. Now, Jules and I, we obviously came in, and there is a motorhome service point, which is just here. You don't have to pay for this, and you don't have to pay for the showers either. That's all included. I think I've paid about £36 a night equivalent for the site, just so you know. So motorhome service point. They've got two hose pipes here. One's for your fresh water, and one is once you've used the dump, you can then wash it down. There is what looks like toilet roll stuck on there. So whether somebody's got a mixed black and grey waste tank, which some motorhomes in Europe have, or whether someone's just dumped the toilet down there, I don't know. But there is the hose to wash it down. So yeah, if you do see people emptying black waste, I found when we were in Sweden last time, people were emptying toilet cassettes down grey waste. So anything goes. Opposite reception, there's mini golf. So if you want to have a go at that, obviously you can have a go at the mini golf. And then there's another little seating area. The reception, when we came in, that was just there. I obviously parked up at the top, and then there was the shop as well. So this is the Strand Camping reception and shop area. Now, if you haven't got your e-bike with you and you want to see a bit more of the area, you can even hire a scooter. I mentioned it to Jules, but apparently he said he wasn't up for it, but you can rent a scooter. And as I say, this is where we stop. Now the swimming pool, I believe the swimming pool is over that side somewhere. I'm not entirely sure how to get to that. So I'll do my best to find out and get some footage of that. But there is an outdoor swimming pool on site. Might be a little bit cold today for that, I think. Right, that's basically a look around the facilities here. So what Jules and I will do now is we're going to just walk back down to our pitch and then out to the water and go and have a look at the town of Heljsminde itself. Being just maybe see here, I don't know, but because it's all sort of tiered, you can actually see the water as well from your pitch due to the tiers. So yeah, lovely. Really like this site. Last night was so quiet. It was like we got pitched up, it hammered it down, we got some tea, and then we actually watched Clarkson's Farm. Jules has watched it on, is it Amazon Prime or whatever it's on. We watched Clarkson's Farm, a couple of episodes, and then went to sleep. We had a really good sleep. So yeah, really quiet. Although at 3:30 in the morning we were woken up by a cuckoo, and I know when we were at Mablethorpe I mentioned cuckoos. Yeah, there was a cuckoo here which woke us both up at 3:30 this morning.
Shop has pastries.
What's that, sorry?
Shop
Oh
has
yeah.
pastries.
Yeah, and they've got pastries. Yeah, in the shop you can go in and buy what they've got, bread and stuff, or you can pre-order some breakfast, I think, as well. So that's it. So we're going to head down into the town itself. There's a couple of restaurants, and I think there's a place like a takeaway that does burgers and stuff. Oh, I'm so tempted. So tempted. And what we found in, it might just, if you just have a look at this as well. So these are that gives you an idea about the seasonal pitches that I was talking about in Denmark. So a lot of them will pitch up, and then they've got the great big awnings as well. They've all got Isabella, because Isabella is actually from Denmark, so we're in the right place. But the lights on that caravan, that's thunder. Let's hope that doesn't get us. So the lights on that caravan, that is actually a Carber caravan. Carber are a Swedish manufacturer, and they actually manufactured our Coachman Sportivo motorhome. So if that back end looks familiar, it's because it is. So yeah, that's a Carber caravan. Right, I'll head back down there and we'll see you as we head off to the water. Jules and I had a little wander around the site. We did find the swimming pool. Oh, that is lovely. Nice outdoor pool. There's some sun loungers there. A couple of slides. So yeah, I don't think the weather's going to be good enough for us to do that on our visit. But if you're coming when the weather was a bit warmer, really nice little pool. And then we wandered around the site and we've got back to just above our pitch here. So what we're going to do is to get out of the site, you don't have to go up to reception and go out that way. You can literally head for this bottom corner just down here, which I will show you. And you straight out onto a path where you can go left or right. We're going left to go into the town. But if you go right, you can walk or cycle, and it'll take you up to Heljsminde itself. Probably completely wrong pronunciation, but you know where I mean. So you can go to the actual main town. This is more like a bit of an area called Heljsminde, so a smaller part. Yeah, so we'll head for that far corner over there. We'll pop out on some water we can see just there. I've already been down there this morning, it's beautiful. Let's head off over there and start our journey and find whatever we find. Come on, I'm going to go down these stairs. Here's the path. So we're going to go that way, which is going to take us into the sort of towny bit. We're going to pop out, I think, right opposite the beach. So we're going to see the beach. And the part of the water, it's called Little Belt. So that's what we're going to see. The water will be called Little Belt. Little Belt does feed under the road that we drove over as we came in. And then it fills this part here. And there's this beautiful pier. There's a great big mound of rubble. I don't know what all that's all about. Let's not look at that bit. That isn't the beautiful bit. Let's look at this bit. But yeah, I came out here this morning to get some photos, and oh, it was stunning, and the water was so blue at that point as well. But yeah, and if you go this way, you can, as I say, cycle up that way to the other sort of main town called Hels itself. So that path will just take you up there. But we're going to go this way, and hopefully we will pop out at the beach. Now, Jules and I are only here for a couple of nights, and then we're making our way up to Sweden, to a place called Aarhus, and we're looking forward to that. That'll then get us into Sweden. I think we might have 11 nights altogether in Sweden. I won't count now because that's a bit weird, but yeah, I think so. So that's the next plan. But Denmark's beautiful. We came here in 2019. If you look back at our videos from 2019, you'll see some of the footage from the places we visited then. We went to a place called La Kolk, which is on this beautiful beach, a bit like we saw when we went to Germany just a couple of days ago. And you can drive on that beach and get out there. We enjoyed that stay as well. What I do like about Denmark is it's very friendly, it's a beautiful place, and it's not overly expensive. Again, we found the supermarkets very reasonable as well. And the campsites, yeah, a mixture of prices. I mean, depends. You don't have to stop on campsites. Obviously, in different countries, you've got the airs and things like that. I always think, do what works for you. I like campsites, that's just me. I know the motorhome's there, I've pottered off and that works for me. Do what works for you, it's always the best way. Obviously get ideas from other people, but do what works for you. Right, I will continue on my way. I think literally it's only a couple of minutes, so I'll see you on the beach, hopefully. That took us literally just a couple of minutes. We've popped out from a road here. So I told you we'd literally come out at the beach. There is a cycle route around here. If you want the cycle route, it's number 5. There's signs everywhere. There's bus stops everywhere. And oh my golly gosh, look at this. Do you know what? As much as I love tacky seaside fun, you cannot beat being in the middle of nowhere with no one around you. Apart from the sound of my own voice, which I love. No, I'm only kidding. But no, I mean, do you know what? I absolutely love stuff like this. And this is the thing, like my experience of Denmark. Obviously, if you go into busy places, it's going to be busy. But otherwise, there's all these sort of coastal places. And you can just see all the beach here with the nice sort of white sand, the water. And this, as I say, is the Little Belt, it's called. But yeah, wow, it's absolutely stunning. Yeah, that's magic. Jules and I, when we drove in, the road we came in on was actually up there, and we drove in on here and then followed it round, and our campsite's just up there. There's a couple of restaurants here. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is not the liveliest place in the world. This is a quiet, sedate holiday. Even if you're bringing your kids, you know, there's stuff for children to do, but it's not crazy stuff. It's just nice outdoor activities. And I think that's what I like about Europe. It's the outdoors aspect. There's a restaurant here, and then just round the corner, I think there's another place that does like takeaway burgers and stuff. That'll be where I'll be going. But I am going to walk around there and have a look. But it's just to give you an idea of what you get if you come somewhere like this, just minutes from the campsite. You've got this beautiful area. Yeah, wow. Right, I'm going to wander off around there next and see what I can find. So I'll leave you looking at that. And that's about all there is really to see here, which I know there's not a lot to see, but what you do see is pretty impressive. Just at the end, we've got this little harbour bit here. There is also a car park here, so if you're not stopping and you want to stop in your motorhome to park, there's motorhome parking just over there. The bus also stops here, so if you are in the area and you want to get the bus anywhere, you can do that. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. So what I'm going to do is, we don't need to carry on the video. I think we've seen what we need to see here. So I will put all the links down there so you can see the campsite we've stayed at. Jules and I will be heading off tomorrow. We're heading next, as I say, to Sweden, to Aarhus, to a first campsite. There'll be a video for that as well. The weather tomorrow is looking wet again. We've unfortunately had a bit of a mixed bag, but when the sun's been out, it's been lovely. So yeah, we'll see you next in Sweden. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.